Hi everybody, Rusty Blackwood here, and I welcome you to my loft on this December 2nd, 2025. We are now in, I think, the most blessed season of the year, leading up to December 25th. Oh my, I'm excited, and I hope that all of you out there are fully as excited as I am. I'm going to do a quick model here of my outfit today for those of you who enjoy seeing what I'm wearing. So bear with me while I get up on my feet and begin. Today I am wearing a mid-length, again, cocktail length below the knee, red leather skirt with a silver metallic long-sleeved high-necked blouse. Catches the light extremely well, as you can see. Moves with me quite nicely. Yes. I am wearing today sort of a burgundy red suede stiletto from Avon. Has crocodile, faux crocodile styled heels. Closer look here. My belt today is also silver. That's just called a silver lace, with a beautiful buckle on it. All of my outfit today is from Shein, S-H-E-I-N. I should almost be an ambassador for Shein. Most of my media wardrobe is from Shein. I quite like them. They have fabulous styles, everything for any taste. And as I said in a prior video, it is a little hard to move on this carpet because there's no give to it, there's no slide under the foot. So if you see me sort of catching at times, that's what's happening. I'm not losing my balance. I'm trying to hold my balance because the heels of my shoes are getting caught in the fibers of the carpet. And my hair today is from Heather's Hair Studio, The Style. She styles me beautifully. So, as always, we're going to wobble our way back to my set. Make sure that I get all my cables where they're supposed to be. Get everybody in the frame here today. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning. We had snow last night. There's a beautiful covering of snow everywhere. It is actually very, very beautiful. Very pretty indeed. I don't know, for some people don't like snow. Myself, I don't prefer snow. I don't like to have to drive in snow. I grew up driving in snow where I grew up back in southwestern Ontario, out in rural Southold Township. On my paternal grandfather's farm is where I grew up, and was right on the end of a dead-end road. One way in, one way out, and we used to get snow as early as late October. I can remember walking out on Halloween with my friends in the neighborhood with, not deep snow, but about like that. You would have to wear your boots, or in those days it was called galoshes, over. They were sort of made of rubbery material, and they came right on over top of your shoes and buckled up on the side. And they were waterproof. There was no warmth to them. They weren't like today's boots that are nicely lined with fleece or thermal material. Back then it was just this material, this raw material, no lining, no nothing, just this material. And but it was to keep your feet dry, and so that wet snow or whatever couldn't penetrate into your feet through your shoes and stuff like that. So it served the purpose. It certainly was not stylish by any means, but it served the purpose very well. And so before I get too far into this video today, I'm going to have some coffee in my giant rusty cup and wish cheers to everybody. Have yourself a beautiful, beautiful December, and enjoy the beautiful season that we are now going into. We are now in, actually. So cheers again. I haven't eaten any breakfast yet this morning. So if you hear my stomach complaining, you hear some weird rumblings or something, that's what's happening. So it's my stomach shaming me. And so anyway, I am also here today to do one of my very first Christmas videos today. I'm planning to do a few this month instead of my just normal one Christmas video and one New Year's Eve video, or for New Year's video. Doesn't always happen on New Year's Eve, but close to the time. And but tomorrow is the release of Blackwood In Emergency, and I wanted to come and do a promo for that, to give you all a heads up and let you know that it is releasing tomorrow. It will be on my YouTube channel here, and I hope that you all tune it in. Those who are subscribed to my channel will get notification of it premiering tomorrow, and I hope you take the time to check it out, tune it in, and watch it through. It's a short, doesn't take very long to go through a short, and it just centers on a very kind of a if I could do it again, wouldn't have happened, but centers on a night of mine that happened to me many years ago, over 20 years ago now. Well, 20 years ago. In 2025 would make it 20 years. It happened in 2005. Just give me a moment. I've got to clear my throat. I've been fighting a cold. Let's, fingers crossed here, toes crossed, everything crossed, that I don't catch a cold. There's my family in the house here has been sick with it. Everybody is over it now. Touch wood that it stays away, and so nasty stuff. My granddaughter was sick. I would think not in bed sick, just coughing and obviously contagious for about 2 weeks. She missed, I would say, almost 2 weeks of school, and for her that could be kind of difficult too, because she's in grade 10 this year, and if you miss one day, oftentimes you miss a lot, let alone missing the better part of 2 weeks. But Sarah is a smart little cookie, and she catches up really super fast. It's like her dad in that way, and took advanced courses all the way through, and his schooling, and never had a problem. And so obviously she has inherited that from him. And so anyway, so I'm managing to stay 1 or 2 steps ahead, and I hope that continues, because there's nothing worse than not feeling the best at Christmas time. I remember many years ago when we first moved to Niagara. That would have been in 1985, and we always would go back home, to my mother's at that time, for Christmas. And and so Christmas came, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I had the flu, and I was in bed. I was right down and out of the count, right, totally missed it all because we were planning to not even be in our house in Beamsville for Christmas. We would have been going back to my mother's. I hadn't shopped to bother to get anything for Christmas. We had no turkey, no chicken, nothing. What I did have, I had in my freezer, I had some chicken wings frozen in there. This is what my now estranged husband, not at that time, of course, and both of my sons were at home. This was long before my eldest son was married, and I think Jason was 9 years old at that time, and so this is what they, Doug and Jamie and Jason, had for their Christmas supper. And Doug didn't know exactly how to cook them. He'd come in and talk to me, and I would tell him what to do and how to do it. And I think I did have some plum sauce. I had something. I mean, I wasn't totally, the cupboards weren't totally bare, but there was no Christmas dinner there. And so, I felt so bad. I really did. And so, but we got through it. And the next day, Boxing Day, I felt a little better, and felt at least I could travel. And so we ended up going up on Boxing Day, and so Mom she knew we were coming, and so she just kept some Christmas dinner aside from, because my brother and his family had been there, and I couldn't expect everybody to miss their Christmas dinner because of me, and so they all went ahead, and so then when we got there, we had leftovers, and leftovers from Christmas dinner are not your usual leftovers, and they were fully as good as they would have been at the time everybody was having them, and so that was that, and so. But I love Christmas. I've always loved Christmas. This year, I'm not going into it like I do most years. It is just coming a year on the 27th of this month that my brother passed away last year, and on the 27th. And so this is the first Christmas without him in physical form. I believe he's around, but not that we were getting together for many years prior to Christmas, because after we traveled down here, it's a long distance to travel, and it wasn't fair for everybody to back and forth every year, me and my family going there one year, and then my brother and his family coming to me. So what we had done for many, many years while our children were small and then our grandchildren were little, we would choose a day in between Christmas and New Year's that worked out the best for everybody, and whose ever turn it was to travel, back and forth, whichever, that would be the day it would be done, and we would get together for our family Christmas. But then as the families grew, and time, there again, trying to work everything into coordinating one day, it was getting harder and harder, and so we had stopped getting together. We would just see each other as close around Christmas as we could, or get together as soon after, because oftentimes in the winter time we didn't travel, back and forth because the weather could be really, really bad. And but if it allowed so, then we would do so. But we always had the telephone, and so we would talk with each other and stay in touch that way. And of course, my brother and his wife Susie, they never ever had, very old school, and they never had um, internet. So otherwise, we could have had video chats, which would have been fantastical. But that that wasn't to be, and so we just made very, very good use of the telephone, and so at least we were in connection with each other, and we used to send Christmas cards to each other. That was always beautiful to receive all these really, really lovely cards and letters written in the cards and things like that. And now nobody does that hardly anymore. You might get the odd one. But of course, this year, Canada Post is, I don't know really what they're doing. I don't know if they're actually on strike or whether they're limited hours or what they're doing. But they always, of course, they pick the worst time of the year, and done so purposely to force their demands. And but it just disrupts everything. It disrupts parcels, it disrupts letters, postcards, cards, and so people have just stopped. It costs. They don't give a special rate anymore. There was a time they used to give special rates on stamps, because you're buying in bulk, and so it would be much, much less per stamp than the $1.50 or whatever it is now. Outrageous amount of money for a stamp. And I'm just taking some pop-ups off here so I can see what I'm doing, talking to you all. My goodness sakes, there we go. Goodness sakes. There we go. We're back. For how long, I don't know, but we'll see. And I really don't understand why they do this, because with people use courier all the time. If you want to send a package now, you use a courier to do it, and because you know it's going to be there within however soon you pay to have express or whatever. And even if you don't use express, it's still there it's still there before a letter would get to you or a parcel would get to you through Canada Post. And so even with their express delivery, and emails, people can send emails, they can send e-cards and things. So, and that seems to be the way it is anymore. So with Canada Post, you would think they would stop and think, well, we're losing business, which they are, and rightfully so. I mean, if you can't provide a decent service 24/7, like you always did, you have more than enough employees, then I don't know. I guess you get what you get what you get. And but as my oldest son always says, way of the world, Mom. I get so tired of hearing way of the world. That's the way of the world. And it may be, but that doesn't mean that a person has to be happy about it or can't complain about it or have to settle for it. If change can be made, then I think people need to step up and speak up and stand up and bring change, because oftentimes that's the only way it's going to happen. And so anyway, please tune in tomorrow to my channel. I hope, well, you watch the video right now, but tune in again tomorrow to see Blackwood in Emergency, and I hope that you can see through that film short what depression and feeling like your back's against the wall with nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, what it can bring. And regardless of the reason, for me, it was depression, and it was losing my way. And first time in my life I ever lost my way to the extent that I did to cause me to do what I did. And trying to get some sleep. I wasn't, as I've said in a prior video, my last video when I'm speaking about Blackwood in Emergency, I was not trying to do away with myself. I was just trying to get a decent night's sleep that I had not been getting for months, and it was taking its toll on me. I was ill, and I was dropping weight hand over fist. I was really sick, and so that was the result of what I did. What I did was the result of what was causing me to not sleep. It was fighting to hang on to my house. My husband and I had come apart at that time, and things were just not good. And I had never ever found myself in a situation like that in since I became an adult. And I just hit a wall, and so that was that. But I got through it, and I hope that that film short will help people to see that the negative side of things. Always try to be and stay as positive as you possibly can. Nothing is worth losing your life over. I mean, you might be out of the picture and everything, but stop and think what it does to your family. Because they're the ones that, if I, as I said, I didn't do it with the intention to get rid of myself. But I made a very, very bad decision by taking those pills. And if I wanted to sleep, I should have just taken a couple, tops, 3 tops. But I think there had only been about 3 or 4 taken out of the bottle, and I think the bottle contained something like 20 or 22 pills, something like that. Well, I took all of them, and it did its number on me. And so please, if you feel yourself backed against the wall and you don't know where to turn or what to do, don't be afraid to speak up and ask for help. It doesn't show weakness, it shows strength to do that. Weakness is when you give into it and you end up doing some foolish damn thing like I did. And I was lucky, but not everybody is. And so that is what the film short will show you, and it shows you in very graphic form. Some of them, as I said, are altered in the graphics. It is me, but it's altered through the use of the program on Twitter called Grok, and it is me, but it changes the features somewhat and elongates them or enlarges them and stuff. But it shows you as it goes through that day and that night, what I can remember of it, and what was explained to me after what they did and things like that. So I hope you glean knowledge from it at least. I don't know whether you're going to find it entertaining, because I don't think I've ever looked worse that night. I know I never looked worse than I did that night. So I was reenacting what had happened. So of course I'm as raw as I can possibly be, and no glamour there. As I said, I do speak about being recognized on the gurney, whereas at that time I hadn't been writing very long at that point in time, and Rusty Blackwood did not exist to anybody. Nobody knew who she was. So I just say that because of today. I'm releasing this film short like now, and Rusty Blackwood is very well known worldwide, really, and so that's why I state that, as I said, sort of a little bit of glamour to it, or whatever, if you could find any glamour in what you're going to watch. And so thank you for joining me today for this quick video and this promo for Blackwood in Emergency. You can check out the featured PR still from that, called Overdose. It is just a shot of me on a gurney, waiting to be taken to a room where I stayed for 3 or 4 days, something like that, while I was taking therapy and talking to a therapist. And in another video, I'll talk about that, so it gives you an idea what that is like, and what was done to me through that. And so all these things, like when you go through these kind of things in life, they always the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, I think that's true. To quite an extent, I think that's true. And I think it helped me. I think it made me a stronger person. It certainly gave me a by far different outlook toward life than what I had prior. And so my mother raised a strong woman just like she was, and I always think of my mother when I tend to try to get a little negative, start to get a little negative about stuff, and I can hear her voice and what she would have to say to me. And so I'm going to go for today and just have a look here at my autumn trilogy, my prequel to this, Before the Grandeur, the Making of a Horse Master, is moving right along, and I'm very pleased with that, and it will be coming to everybody next spring, sometime in the spring of 2026, and then the entire series will be complete. So enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. If you've got snow, take a look at the beauty of it. It covers up all the drab and everything, and try to stay positive. Everything, snow and everything else will pass, and so there's always something to find to smile about if you look hard enough. And so, as my little great-grandsons say now, peace and love to everybody. Please like this video, please comment it, please share it around, and subscribe to my channel. And I thank all of you who have, and I welcome all of you who will. So I wish God's blessings to each one of you. Stay strong, smile everybody, and have the rest of your day be cheerful.